everybody. So I'm really sorry about the Zoom meeting today. I'll try and get that sorted for next week. I'm not sure what went wrong. Anyway, this is one of the two stories I was going to read you today. This is one of my favourites because it's all about this little boy called Alfie. And this one says Alfie and the Birthday Surprise. And there's a basket here with a bow on it. I wonder who that's for. I wonder what's inside there. And it's by my favourite author, Shirley Hughes. So let's see what happens, shall we? Alfie lived in the city with his mum and his dad and his little sister, Annie Rose. Right across the street lived their good friends, the MacNallys. There were Bob and Jean MacNally, their daughter Maureen, and their old cat called Smokey. Let's have a little look. Here we go. Every morning when Maureen set off to school and Bob MacNally went to catch his bus to work, they waved to Alfie and Annie Rose, and Alfie and Annie Rose waved back. Smokey was always there to see them off, and on fine evenings he would sit on the wall for a long time waiting for them to come back. Alfie's cat Chessie and Smokey were not good friends. They eyed each other up suspiciously from opposite sides of the street. But Bob MacNally told Alfie that Smokey was getting too old to pick fights. The MacNallys were all very fond of Smokey, but Bob and he were special friends. When Bob came home from work, he always stopped for a chat with Smokey. Once, when Smokey was frightened up a tree and got stuck, Bob spent a whole afternoon trying to coax him down. It's his back legs, you see, Bob told Alfie. I'm afraid he's not as young as he used to be. You're going to have a look there at the picture. There's poor Smokey stuck up the tree. Smokey spent most of his day asleep in his favourite place by the kitchen radiator, or dozing in a patch of sunlight. But in the evenings he would jump onto Bob MacNally's lap and they would watch television together. Smokey never wanted to play. Even Alfie was visiting the MacNallys. He would try pulling a piece of string across the floor and twitching the end, hoping that Smokey would chase it. But Smokey only opened one slit of an eye and cocked his ears half-heartedly and then went back to sleep. If Alfie picked him up, he made bad-tempered noises, which meant he wanted to be left alone. Smokey just wanted to sleep and sleep. One morning, Maureen came over to Alfie's house before breakfast. She was very sad. She told them that Smokey had died in the night. He was nearly as old as I am, Maureen told them tearfully, and that's pretty old for a cat. Alfie was sad about Smokey being dead. We won't see him again, will we? He said to Mum. Why did Smokey have to be dead? He wanted to know. Well, he was very old and tired, and he had come to the end of his life, said Mum. But it was a happy life, and we'll all remember him fondly. Oh, that's sad. Smokey was buried under a bush in the MacNallys' back garden. Maureen made a memorial for him in her woodwork class at school. Alfie helped her put it up. She had written on it in beautiful writing. It says, "In memory of Smokey, a good friend." They all cried over it, and then they began to feel a bit better. All except poor Bob. Smokey had been his special friend, and he missed him a lot, especially in the evenings when he came home from work, and there was no Smokey waiting for him on the garden wall anymore. Poor Bob. It's Dad's birthday next week, Maureen told Mum and Alfie when she was sitting in their kitchen at tea time. He'll be 52, and he says he doesn't want any presents at all, not even any cards. Not even any balloons? Asked Alfie. No, nothing. He really is fed up, said Maureen gloomily. And Mum says she doesn't know what to do to cheer him up. He's missing Smokey, I expect, said Mum. Then Alfie said, let's make a party for him. Everyone thought that was a wonderful idea, but they decided to keep it a secret until the day came. A surprise birthday party for Bob MacNally. Wonder if that will cheer him up. Let's find out. When we go shopping, you can choose a present for him, Mum told Alfie. They looked at a great many things until they decided on a smart pair of red socks, Alfie's favourite colour. Mum bought a box of mint chocolates and some pretty wrapping paper. The party was such a big secret that Jean MacNally came over to Alfie's house specially to make a birthday cake in their kitchen. Alfie helped her to put the candles, 5 blue ones and 2 pink ones. Ooh, that looks like a delicious cake. The day before the surprise party, all of Bob's presents were ready. Jean had knitted him a sweater, or a jumper. Mum and Dad had bought him a pot plant, and Annie Rose was giving him a jug with a picture of the sun and the moon and the stars on it. What's your present? Alfie asked Maureen, but she just looked mysterious and said she wasn't going to tell, not yet. I'll let you know this evening, she promised. Ooh, I wonder what it is. Annie Rose was already asleep, and Alfie was in his dressing gown, having a story when Maureen rang the doorbell. She was carrying a basket tied up with string. Is that the present? Asked Alfie, very excited. Yes, you can have a see inside if you like, said Maureen. I wonder what's inside the basket. Shall we have a look? Oh! She put the basket down carefully in the middle of the floor and undid the string. Then she lifted the lid just a tiny bit. Alfie looked inside. It was something alive. It had 2 very bright eyes and a pink nose with white whiskers. Then a soft paw shot out and patted his finger. Oh, Maureen, it's a kitten, said Mum. I got him from a friend at school, said Maureen, beaming. Will you look after him till tomorrow? It's got to be a real surprise. Oh, yes, shouted Alfie. Mum said that they could, as it was just for one night, but we'll have to be careful that Chessie doesn't meet him, or she might be jealous, she told Alfie. The kitten can sleep in my room, said Alfie. That night, Alfie and the kitten settled down together, or tried to settle down. Can you see? It wasn't very easy because the kitten kept patting the edge of Alfie's quilt and trying to climb up it. Then he got onto the bed and started a game of hide and seek. At last he curled up and went to sleep. Alfie loved feeling him at the end of his bed, but he would not have wanted him to be there every night. The next day, let's see, can you see the kitten curled up on the end of the bed? Oh, so cute and fluffy. The next day, after Bob had gone to work, they were very busy going to and fro across the street and getting the party ready. Alfie and Maureen fed the kitten and put him in his basket. They hid him in the middle of the room where the MacNallys kept their washing machine. At first, the kitten did not like being in there. Don't worry, it won't be for long, whispered Alfie. Soon the kitten stopped scratching and was quiet. Oh, poor little kitten, but he won't be in there for very long. How exciting, making a surprise birthday party. At 6 o'clock, everything was ready. They put out the lights and waited in the dark. At last, they heard Bob coming up the front steps. Shh! They all kept quiet as mice, and even Annie Rose. Alfie was so excited he had to cling on to Dad's hand as Bob opened the front door. Da, da, da. Hello, I'm home, he called. Silence. Then he walked into the sitting room. On went the lights and they all burst out singing, "Happy birthday to you." At first, Bob was so surprised, he just stood there with his eyes and mouth wide open. Then he began to smile. He was very pleased with his birthday tea and his presents, and he opened all of them one by one. Can you see? Ah. Best of all was when Maureen, helped by Alfie, brought in the basket. Bob untied the string and out jumped the kitten. Right away he started again with Bob's shoelaces. Ah, what a lovely little kitten. Bob MacNally called the kitten Boots. Boots was wonderfully good at inventing games, and when Alfie pulled a piece of screwed up paper across the floor, Boots lay in wait for it, and then he pounced. He tossed it in the air and bicycled it furiously with his little black back legs. Alfie showed Annie Rose how to play with Boots and how not to squeeze him too hard. Oh. Boots soon settled down as one of the MacNally's family, and Bob grew very fond of him, though of course they never forgot dear old Smokey. Alfie and Boots became great friends, and Alfie was sure that Boots remembered how once, before the MacNally surprise birthday party, he had slept a whole night on the foot of Alfie's bed. Oh, that's a lovely story. Really lovely. I hope you enjoyed it. See you soon.